My friends, listen up. Life has a funny way of throwing challenges your way, doesn't it? But I'm here to tell you something that's going to change everything for you. Whatever you're going through right now, whatever you've lost, whatever you think is slipping away, it's not the end. I need you to know that deep down in your soul, because I'm telling you right now, he will come back, absolutely. But here's the catch. You've got to do this. And I'm not talking about waiting around hoping things will magically change. I'm talking about real action, the kind that shakes up your life, the kind that moves you in ways you didn't even know were possible. When life knocks you down, it doesn't mean you stay down. It means you rise up. You fight. You push. You remind yourself that there is something greater on the horizon. And the way to bring that back into your life isn't by looking back or staying stuck. It's by moving forward relentlessly. But it's not just about doing anything. You've got to do it right. You've got to be focused, unwavering, and relentless in your pursuit. The power is in your hands. You have the tools, you have the strength, and most importantly, you have the ability to make it happen. You want proof? Look at every great story, every person who's risen from the ashes. They didn't wait for things to happen. They didn't fold under pressure. They took charge, they believed, and they kept going, no matter what. That's the power you have inside you right now. So I'm telling you, don't you dare quit. Don't you dare give up. He will come back, but only if you do this. Trust in the process. Stay true to who you are. And most importantly, never, ever lose your belief in what's possible. Life throws challenges, and let's be real. Sometimes it feels like it's testing you at every turn. One day things are moving smoothly, and the next you're faced with an obstacle that seems insurmountable. It's easy in those moments to feel like you've hit a wall, to think that everything you've worked for has come to a halt. But here's the truth. Challenges don't come to stop you. They come to build you. Every struggle you face is an opportunity for growth, an opportunity to push yourself beyond what you thought you were capable of. And yes, it's hard. Sometimes it feels impossible, but that's where your strength is forged. It's when you're up against a wall and you're exhausted and you don't think you can go any further that you find out what you're really made of. And you know what? That's the moment when things start to change. It's in those tough times that the most powerful shifts happen. It's in that pressure, that discomfort, that you develop the resilience and the determination that'll carry you through. Life doesn't owe us anything, but we owe it to ourselves to rise to the occasion, to stand tall when everything around us feels like it's falling apart. The hardest moments don't last forever, but you have to fight through them. You have to push through, no matter how hard it seems. Because on the other side of that struggle, there's something waiting for you that's worth every ounce of effort. And that's how you grow. That's how you overcome. Action is key. You can sit around and hope things will change, but hoping alone won't move the needle. It's not enough to simply want something. Wanting without action is just wishful thinking. If you're serious about changing your life, about getting what you truly want, you need to move. You have to get up and take steps, even when you're unsure, even when the road ahead seems unclear. It's easy to fall into the trap of waiting for the perfect moment, the right time, the right conditions, when everything aligns perfectly. But here's the thing, if you wait for everything to line up just right, you'll be waiting forever. Failure is feedback. It's telling you what didn't work, what needs adjustment, and how you can improve. The more you fail, the more you learn, and the closer you get to success. So instead of avoiding failure, you need to embrace it. Use it as fuel. Every time you get knocked down, use that as a reason to get back up, even stronger than before. Taking action isn't just about physical movement. It's about mindset. It's about deciding every single day that you're going to take control of your life, your destiny. It's about not waiting for someone else to do it for you. You have the power, and the only way to tap into that power is to act again and again and again. It's through relentless, intentional action that things begin to shift. You've got to move forward, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it feels like you're not making progress. Every step matters. Every step takes you closer to where you need to be. Rising after setbacks isn't easy. It's one of the hardest things you'll ever have to do. but it's also one of the most powerful. We've all experienced those moments when everything seems to fall apart. You've worked hard, you've invested time, energy, and hope, only to have it slip through your fingers. In those moments, it feels like the world has turned its back on you. You start questioning yourself, your abilities, and whether it's even worth trying again. But let me tell you something. Those setbacks don't define you. What defines you is how you rise from them. When you face a setback, you have two choices. You can let it break you, or you can let it make you. The choice is yours, but if you choose to let it break you, you'll never know the strength you have inside. You'll never know what you're truly capable of. Setbacks are like a test. How badly do you really want it? How badly are you willing to fight for what you believe in? It's tempting to stay down when things get tough, to give in to the weight of disappointment, to allow that voice inside your head that tells you it's too much to win. But that's the moment you need to dig deep. When you rise after a setback, you don't just bounce back to where you were. You come back stronger, wiser, and more equipped to handle what's ahead. You learn things about yourself in the hardest moments that you could never learn in times of ease. The pain of the setback becomes the fuel that propels you forward. It forces you to adapt, to become more resourceful, to tap into parts of yourself that you didn't even know existed. Rising after a setback is about not letting that one moment define your entire story. It's about picking yourself up, dusting yourself off, and saying, I'm not done, not by a long shot. You have to keep moving forward, even when you don't feel like it. You have to keep going even when the road seems longer than you ever imagined. Because every time you rise, you get closer to the person you were meant to be. It's easy to get distracted, to get sidetracked by the noise, by the ups and downs that pull at you from every direction. But the ones who make it, the ones who succeed, are the ones who are laser focused on their goal and relentlessly pursue it no matter what. Focus isn't just about blocking out distractions. It's about making a decision, a commitment to where you're going and not letting anything or anyone steer you off course. It's knowing what you want and dedicating every ounce of energy, time, and effort to making that vision a reality. The world will try to pull you in a million different directions. People will tell you it's too hard, too risky, too much. But the key is in staying focused. Every moment you spend not focusing on your goals is a moment wasted, a step further from your dream. You need to guard your time, guard your energy, and guard your focus as if they're the most precious resources you have, because they are. Relentlessness is what happens when you refuse to let anything stand in your way. It's the attitude of pushing forward, no matter how many times you get knocked down, no matter how many doors get slammed in your face, no matter how many people doubt you. Relentlessness means you wake up every single day with the same drive, the same hunger, the same determination to keep moving forward, even when it's hard, even when you're tired, even when you're not seeing the results you hope for. It's about not accepting failure as an obstacle, not allowing obstacles to dictate your success. Relentlessness doesn't stop when it gets tough. It pushes harder. It doesn't pause when it's uncomfortable. It powers through. To be focused and relentless means to be all in. It's an all-consuming desire to reach your destination and a refusal to settle for anything less than your best. It's about building that momentum and keeping it going even when it feels like the road is long or the results aren't immediate. You trust the process, you stay disciplined, and you keep pushing forward, because success doesn't come to those who give up when things get tough. Success comes to the ones who dig deeper, who rise again and again, who refuse to quit no matter the odds. That's the power of focus and relentlessness. It's not about being perfect. It's about being persistent. It's about staying in the game no matter what. You have the power. You might not always feel it, especially when life throws you curveballs or when things aren't going the way you imagine. But it's there, deep inside of you, waiting to be tapped into. It's easy to feel like you're at the mercy of circumstances, like everything is out of your control. But the truth is, no one can take away the power you hold within yourself unless you let them. The power you have isn't dependent on your situation, your environment, or the people around you. It's not defined by how many mistakes you've made or how many failures you've experienced. It's about your ability to choose to take action and to rise to the challenges that life throws at you. You may not control everything that happens to you, but you control how you respond. You control your mindset, your effort, your attitude, and the choices you make every single day. And that's where your power lies. The power you have is in your belief. You have the ability to believe in yourself. Even when the world doubts you, you have the power to say, I can, when everything around you screams you can't. That belief, that unshakable trust in your own abilities, is the foundation of everything you will accomplish. Without it, you're left wandering, but with it, you are unstoppable. The power you have is in your actions. It's one thing to believe you can do something, it's another thing entirely to take the steps to make it happen. You can sit back and wait for things to fall into place, or you can take charge. You can make decisions, take risks, and push through fear and doubt. The world doesn't reward passivity. It rewards those who act. So every time you take action, every time you push yourself beyond what you thought was possible, you're stepping into the power that's always been yours. The power you have is in your resilience. It's in the ability to bounce back after every failure, after every setback. When life knocks you down, you have the power to get back up. You have the strength to keep going, even when the road is long, even when the results aren't immediate. Resilience doesn't mean you're invincible, but it means you never stay down. It means you refuse to be defined by the hard moments. You come back stronger. You have the power to change your life. You have the power to take control of your future, to shape the person you want to become, to chase after your dreams with everything you've got. All the tools you need to succeed are already inside of you. It's just a matter of unlocking them, of stepping into your full potential. So don't wait for someone to give you permission. Don't wait for the world to recognize your power. The man drained inside of you at this point, and you've been here the rest of your life. Recognize it for yourself right now, because you have everything you need to create the life you want. The only thing holding you back is you. Look at successful stories. Take a moment and think about the people who inspire you, the ones who've made it, the ones who've overcome the odds. I want you to think about their journeys, not just the shiny moments when they were standing at the top, but everything that got them there. Every struggle, every failure, every setback they faced before the success came. The ones we admire didn't just wake up successful. They had to fight for it. They had to earn it. Think about the times they were told they couldn't do it, or when they were knocked down, when the odds were stacked against them, when they thought about giving up, but they didn't. They kept going, even when it didn't make sense. They kept working, kept learning, and kept pushing forward because they believed in something greater than the pain or the struggle in front of them. They knew that success wasn't a straight line. It was full of twists, turns, and detours. But they also knew that every misstep was just a step towards something better. Every failure was just a lesson that would eventually lead them to victory. Successful people didn't take the easy road. They didn't wait for things to be perfect or for the perfect moment to arrive. They started where they were with what they had and built from there. It wasn't smooth sailing, but they understood that success isn't about avoiding the storms. It's about navigating through them. It's about learning how to weather the tough times and keep moving forward, even when everything feels like it's falling apart. Take a look at anyone who's truly made an impact. They've experienced rejection, they've fallen down, they've faced doubt. But the difference between them and the ones who didn't make it is that they didn't let that stop them. They didn't let those failures define them. They let those failures fuel them. They understood that the road to success is paved with persistence. They knew that the real challenge wasn't the setbacks. It was the decision to keep going when everything seemed impossible. Look at the athletes who've trained for years only to face injury after injury. The entrepreneurs who faced bankruptcy before finally building a successful business. The artists who've been told their work isn't good enough but kept creating anyway. They didn't stop. They kept going because they knew what was possible on the other side of the struggle. And it was that belief, that determination that kept them moving forward when others would have given up. When you look at successful stories, what you really see is not just the success itself, but the mindset, the grit, and the tenacity it took to get there. It's about the moments of doubt, the moments of pain, and the sheer will to keep pushing forward. And that's what you have to remember when you face your own challenges. If they can do it, so can you. The same strength, the same resilience, the same power that's in them is in you. Never lose belief. It's easy to get caught up in doubt, especially when things aren't going your way, when you're in the middle of a storm and it feels like nothing is changing. But I'm here to tell you, belief is everything. Belief is the foundation of success, the fuel that keeps you going when everything else seems to be working against you. You may not always see the path, and sometimes it feels like you're walking through darkness, but your belief is the light that will guide you through. Belief doesn't come from external validation. It doesn't come from the applause of others or the confirmation that you're on the right track. Real belief comes from within. It's the quiet confidence that says, I will make it through this. I have the strength. I have the will. I will find a way. It's knowing deep down that no matter how many times you fall, no matter how many times you're knocked down, you have what it takes to rise again. The thing about belief is that it's not always easy to hold on to. There will be days when everything feels uncertain, when failure stings and your dreams feel out of reach. In those moments, it's tempting to throw in the towel, to walk away, to convince yourself that maybe this just isn't meant to be. But that's exactly when you need belief the most. That's when it counts. Because belief isn't about everything going perfectly. It's about holding on when it's tough. It's about trusting that even when you don't see the way forward, the path is still there. Never lose belief in yourself, even when others around you do. People will doubt you. People will tell you you're not good enough, that you don't have what it takes. They'll tell you the odds are against you, and the world will try to convince you that you should give up. But none of that matters unless you allow it to. Their doubts are not your doubts. Their limitations are not your limitations. You don't have to prove anything to anyone except yourself. As long as you believe, as long as you stay true to that inner fire, you'll find your way through. There's power in belief. When you believe in yourself, you unlock a strength that no setback, no failure, no person can take away from you. Belief keeps you moving forward. It keeps you fighting. It keeps you pushing when it feels like all you have left is hope. And the more you believe, the more you build momentum, and soon you'll realize that what once felt impossible is now within reach. You've got to believe not just in the end result, but in the process. Believe in your ability to learn, to adapt, to overcome. Believe in the small victories, the little steps that will eventually take you to the top. And most importantly, believe that no matter how hard it gets, no matter how far you have to go, you are capable of achieving everything you set out to do. You just have to keep believing. You have to trust the journey, trust yourself, and never lose sight of what you know in your heart is possible. So here's what I want you to remember. Life is going to challenge you. It's going to test you, and it's going to knock you down more times than you can count. But through it all, you have the power to rise again, to focus, to stay relentless, and to believe in yourself when no one else does. He will come back. Whatever you've lost, whatever you're waiting for, it's coming back. But it's not coming back because you sat around and hoped. It's coming back because you took action, because you kept your belief, because you refused to give up no matter how hard it got. So stand tall, keep moving forward no matter what. Keep fighting for your dreams, because if you don't quit, if you don't lose your belief, you will get to the place you've always dreamed of. It works. This works. You just have to trust in the process, trust in yourself, and never stop pushing. Your time is coming. Keep going and it will come back. Absolutely.